The other side of our studio, Emma James, ready to go with Media Watch. Starting with the battle to lead France's political right. Nicolas Sarkozy is ahead in one area at least. Please explain.
Yes, the former President Nicolas Sarkozy may not be leading in the polls, but he is leading the Twitter race, if you like. He is proving to be the most popular of all of the candidates in that primary tonight, on Twitter at least. Huffington Post reports that he has his own digital army, the only candidate to have one, they say. Now, if we take a look at this, this is a new poll out today done by IFOP, which shows that it is young people very much in the corner of Nicolas Sarkozy, if you like. 44% going for him as opposed to 25% for Alain Juppé, 12% for François Fillon. Now, you might think that those figures go some way to explaining his greater popularity on social media, on Twitter. However, according to the Huffington Post, that isn't the case. They say that it is a real mix of people. Yes, students are involved, but also entrepreneurs, doctors, even retired people, all posting with the letters NS and 2017 after their comments, or adding it to their names. As you can see here, their profiles, many of them have NS 2017 after them. Now, another term that they are using quite frequently is Ali Juppé, referring to Alain Juppé as Ali because they believe him to be allied with Islam, allied with Muslims, because he has a slightly less anti-Muslim stance compared to Nicolas Sarkozy, who is very much courting the right of the right, trying to make sure that people don't go and vote for the far right, Marine Le Pen, instead of him. And they see him as too soft on Islam, and so they are trying to denigrate him by referring to him as Ali Juppé, which shows that perhaps there is something of a fascistic tendency amongst Sarkozy supporters. Techno media also supporting on this one, saying that Sarkozy is number one on social media. 450,000 interactions in just the last 30 days. That means likes, shares, retweets, commenting on things on social media. François Fillon is in a fairly distant second place. Now, if you take a look there at this from the Wall Street Post, Wall Street Journal, it shows really that maybe none of this matters because, as they show here, Alain Juppé is out in front. They've come up with the figures here for if Juppé wins and if Sarkozy wins. Now, admittedly, they do say that whoever it is, they will beat Marine Le Pen in the second round of the presidential election.
Can they be sure? That's the question.
Well, I was just about to say that because recent political predictions have been completely, wildly inaccurate. So you could say that none of this really matters right now.
I wouldn't dare say that. I'd leave that to you. You've been taking a look at the latest revelations about Facebook and fake news and how that might have affected the US election.
Yes, absolutely. It's a story that's been rolling around for quite some time now. Mark Zuckerberg is one of those who is certain that Facebook didn't have a part to play in swaying the vote because of the amount of fake news shared on it. But many others are more sceptical about it. And BuzzFeed has been taking a look at the numbers on this one. And what they say is that in the final 3 months before the US election, so really key time for people who maybe were undecided, fake election news stories were actually outsharing or outperforming, if you like, the top stories from some of the most credible news sources out there, including the Washington Post, the New York Times. This is an example of the kind of thing that they were seeing. WikiLeaks confirms Hillary sold weapons to ISIS, then drops another bombshell. That, of course, was false. But it really goes to the heart of, do people just like to read things that confirm what they already believe? Now, this is what they've come up with. 8.7 million fake news stories, hoax news stories being shared as opposed to 7.3 million in the last 3 months. Of course, we'll never know how influential that proves to be.
These aren't just comedy websites. These are actual sort of, I don't know.
They're deliberately created to fool people. And they also talk about hyper-partisan blogs as well, where people are very, very much biased, but will be talking about things as though they aren't.
Indeed, there are many websites that sort of obviously take that great party line, but like you're saying, there's obviously ones that sort of are more kind of like micromanaged in that sense. Tell us more about the social media sort of changing radically for one man since the election, that man being Mike Pence. But you're saying it's not actually the Mike Pence.
Not that Mike
Donald
Pence.
Trump's
No, indeed.
left-hand, right-hand man.
Mike Pence shares a name but very little common ground with the Vice President-elect. He is on Twitter. His Twitter handle is @Mike Pence. So lots of people are mistaking him for the Vice President-elect. He's getting a lot of love and a lot of hate from other Twitter users, prompting him to post this one: "Why should I have to change my name? He's the one that sucks." You can see that's been liked 100,000 times, retweeted 44,000 times. And he really is a very, very different character to Mike Pence. New York Magazine actually spoke to him when Mike Pence was first appointed as a potential vice president. He said, "The vast majority of people just aren't paying attention, or they would know that I am a liberal, atheist, ex-Jehovah's Witness computer programmer and not a bigoted shill for the Republican Party, who is all too happy to throw Muslims under the bus for a chance at power." Now, he's using his rather unique position to tweet widely, to hit out at what he doesn't like seeing in American politics. "Do the right thing, America. We are stronger together and need to reject Orange Hitler." And my favourite one, he's tweeted this one directly to @RealDonaldTrump. "Thanks for the private cuddle time last night. You are beautiful without your wig on."
Emma James of Media Watch, thank you very much indeed. Great to see you.